Members of Parliament Yusufu Mutembule for Bunyole East and Sisen Namojuman, Member of Parliament for Rengo District, have appeared at the Anti-Corruption Court for hearing of their bail application. The case is before Magistrate Joan Yasiro. The accused's legal team prayers on bail was objected after prosecution led by Jonathan Muwaganya managed to have the two accused MPs committed to High Court for a full trial.
Your Worship, I'm sorry that my colleagues have preempted. What we intended to do, because certainly we have prayers to be made in respect of A2. So our prayer for committal first, Your Worship, we came expecting all accused persons to be here. We are learning of the details concerning A2 from our land brother, Lugambwa. As a prosecution, we shall verify those facts. And we believe it's going to be easier now that we have our brother to work with. As officers of this court, we shall establish the correct version of those allegations and ensure that A2 is caused to appear in court and be committed as well. So, Your Honor, like I said, the prayer for committal is in respect of A1 and A3 present. The application for committal is made under section 168 of the MCA.
Under section
168 of them. The procedure, as we know it in the law, does not require notice. And so it cannot be said that our application is by way of ambush. As for the disclosure, Your Worship, as we indicated, we are ready. And we are waiting to be served with the notice of instructions from the respective advocates. To confirm instructions to handle the trial, and we shall accordingly avail them as required. Having said that, Your Honor, we pray that the two accused persons present are committed, and we shall make the respective prayers in respect of A2. Which we actually intended to do anyway. At the end of the committal process, we so pray.
How will the proceedings go?
I am not sure that my colleague has a right of rejoinder. It is transpiring that he does not have that right. I made an application, he opposed it,
No, I objected that you should.
I rejoined. With due respect, he does not have audience at this stage.
Make an application, which we objected to, that is not the day for that application. For him, he is trying to. He replied to my objection. So I am doing that.
Now, he applied to commit, you objected, he rejoined.
Oh, you mean his application was already at the end? Commit. To comment on the aspects of the possibility of the committal when one of the accused persons is not present. Because he has raised it. Yes. And it is important. Because as far as we know, Your Worship,
Okay, I simply let me put you on record.
most of them.
Being committed to the High Court for their trial in the absence of A2. But I find that this is not a new matter. I find that this is not a new matter. In other words, the prayer for that leave is denied or not granted. And then ruling on the main application. This court has heard from both parties, and the defense majorly prays that the bail application for A1 and A3 be heard today as it had been scheduled, and then committal may proceed, but also makes an argument that A1 and A3 cannot be committed in the absence of A2. The position of the prosecution is that the DPP has the powers to have the accused persons now before this court committed even in the absence of A2. This court will first of all handle the above two before getting into the issue of A2 being in the possession or hands of the prosecution. To begin with the purpose of today's sitting, indeed today was for bail application of A1 and A3 who are before this court. It is also today that the prosecution who had informed this court that inquiries are complete, and so they asked for a hearing date, which date this court stated would be given today, is the day the prosecution wants the accused persons committed. By the words from the prosecution that they are ready to have the accused persons committed for their trial by the High Court, I consider this not an application, but an information for this court to act on. Section 168 of the Magistrates Court Act provides for committal procedure for trials by the High Court, and Section 169 of the same Act gives the Director of Public Prosecution the powers to determine offences to be committed to the High Court. The same section provides inter alia that an offence committed to the High Court under Section 168 shall not be refused merely on the grounds that a magistrate's court has the jurisdiction to try the offence. In other words, it is within the discretion of the DPP to have offences of her choice committed in whichever case she chooses. In other words, this court has no power to bar the prosecution from having the accused persons committed for their trial by the High Court. Coming to committal of the accused persons now before this court, in the absence of 8.2, there is no law that bars the same from taking place. Accused persons can be committed in the absence of another or some, but the one not present or those not present cannot be committed in absentia. In other words, there will not be any procedural error in having the two accused persons now before this court committed for that trial by the High Court. When it comes to the bail application, the same was overtaken by events when the state informed court that they are ready to have the accused persons committed for their trial by the High Court. And there is actually no notice required for them to do this. By the fact that the prosecution informs court that they need to have the accused persons committed, then the next procedure for this court to take is obviously have the committal procedure, and that's why I say bail application then is overtaken by events. For Etu, who is not before this court indeed granted him bail, and as per the defense submission, especially that of his counsel, Counsel Rugambwa, and counsel for A3, Counsel Ntambirechi, he was arrested, but none of them has offered this court information on whether A2 was arrested in respect of this very case or on some other issue or issues. This court may not take any stand in that regard, and counsel, especially counsel for A2, knows where to seek remedy from in respect of A2 in any case need be. For the representation, it is the DPP who decides who of her staff should represent her, and this court shall not delve into that arena. For disclosure, by Rule 8, Sub-Rule 3 of the High Court Anti-Corruption Case Management Rules 2021, this is the right time for disclosure, and that is at the time of committal trial by the High Court. The objection raised to having the accused persons now before this court committed for that trial by the High Court is overruled. The accused persons shall be committed for that trial by the High Court, but the two of you still have the right to apply for bail, only that this right can now be exercised before the High Court. That is an application placed by your lawyers.
In the indictment read to the accused, prosecution will depend on Human Rights Commission chairperson Mariam Wangadia's evidence, which includes the audios she recorded from the accused at Hotel Africana as they solicit the 20% and undue advantage.
Honorable Sise Namuju are charged with the following offences: statement of offence, corruption, contrary to Section 2, subsection E, and 26 of the Anti-Corruption Act 2009 as amended. The particulars are that Honorable Yusuf Mutembuli, Honorable Akamba Paul, and Honorable Sise Namuju on the 13th day of May 2024 at Hotel Africana in Kampala City, solicited from Mariam Wangadia, the chairperson of the Uganda Human Rights Commission, UHRC, an undue advantage of 20% of the anticipated enhanced budget of the UHRC for the financial year 2024-2025 by asserting that they were able to exert improper influence over the decision-making of the Budget Committee of the Parliament of Uganda and officials at Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to approve and release the funds for the said budget respectively in consideration of the said undue advantage. This is a summary of the case. The Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, shall adduce evidence at the trial before the High Court to prove the following facts. 1, that the complainant, Miss Mariam Wangadia, is the chairperson, Uganda Human Rights Commission, hereinafter interchangeably referred to as the UHRC or the Commission. Her roles as the chairperson of UHRC include presenting the Commission's budget to Parliament. 2, that Honorable Yusuf Mutembuli A1 is a member of Parliament for Bunyoli East constituency in Butaleja district. He is also the vice chairperson of the Legal and Parliamentary Committee, whose mandate is to oversee the activities and programs of specific government departments and instructions that include the UHRC. In exercise of its mandate, the committee processes and makes recommendations on budgets of departments and institutions under its mandate to Parliament. 3, that Honorable Akamba Paul A2 is a member of Parliament for Busiki constituency, Namutumba district. He serves as a member of the Budget Committee of the 11th Parliament until December 2023. 4, that Honorable Sisi Namuju A3 is the woman member of Parliament for Luengo district. She is a former member of the Budget Committee of the 11th Parliament, a position she held until December 2023. She is currently a member of the Public Accounts Committee, Central Government. 5, that during the year 2023, Ms. Wangadia led the management team of UHRC to the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee of Parliament, where they presented the Commission's policy statement and budget framework paper for the financial year 2023-2024. A1 is one of the members who attended the Budget Committee meeting, during which Ms. Wangadia highlighted the Commission's financial challenges. 6, that after the above meeting and while still within the precincts of Parliament, Ms. Wangadia interacted with A1, who offered to assist her to solve the UHRC's financial challenges. However, A1 explained that this would only be possible if Ms. Wangadia remitted to him and his undisclosed colleagues 5% of the Commission's budget that had been presented to the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee of Parliament Committee on that day. 7, that A1 then requested Ms. Wangadia for the telephone number of the accounting officer of UHRC to enable him have further discussions on the matter with her, which Ms. Wangadia provided. In turn, A1 gave his business card to Ms. Wangadia to be passed on to the accounting officer of UHRC. 8, that on returning to UHRC offices, Ms. Wangadia briefed the accounting officer about the discussion that she had with A1 and also handed over A1's business card to her. 9. That the accounting officer called A1 on his telephone number 0772 971992 and the two agreed to meet at UHRC's offices at Naguru. Indeed, A1 went to UHRC's offices, and during his meeting with the accounting officer, A1 reiterated his demands to be given 5% of the commission's anticipated budget allocation. 10. That the accounting officer indicated to A1 that it was not possible for the commission to give him part of its budget, but A1 insisted that without money, the commission would not get money. Indeed, the commission's budget was never increased during that financial year of 2023-2024. 11. That after her meeting with A1, the accounting officer of UHRC reported back to Ms. Wangadia about her meeting and A1's demands for 5% of the commission's budget. 12. That in the result, Ms. Wangadia reported A1's demands to His Excellency the President of Uganda, who promised to handle the matter. 13. That on the 13th May 2024, A1 called Ms. Wangadia and asked her to immediately go to Hotel Africana to meet him and other important people who were to help her with the commission's budget. 14. That after speaking to A1, Ms. Wangadia then called a security personnel who availed her with a recording device to be used to record her discussions with A1 and the important people he had talked about. That Ms. Wangadia then proceeded to Hotel Africana with the recording device and while in the parking, she switched on the recording device and called A1, who directed her to find him at Elgon Restaurant. Ms. Wangadia proceeded to Elgon Restaurant, where she found A1 with another gentleman. A1 introduced the gentleman as Honorable Akamba Paul, a member of Parliament for the Siki constituency, into brackets A2. A1 then explained to Ms. Wangadia that he was going to work with A2 to help her with the budget issues for UHRC. 16. That A1 and A2, however, informed Ms. Wangadia that they were still waiting for another member of Parliament who was very crucial person to join them. As they waited for the crucial person, A1 and A2 engaged Ms. Wangadia in a discussion of the Commission's budget and funding gaps. 17. That eventually the trio was joined by a lady who was introduced by A1 and A2 as Honorable Sisi Namuju Nyozia, into brackets A3. A1 revealed to Ms. Wangadia that A3 was the crucial person that they had been waiting for. 18. That A3 immediately demanded to know from A1 and A2 how much they had asked Ms. Wangadia to pay, to which they replied that they were still waiting for her to arrive.
Other evidence will be the CCTV camera footages, which were got from Hotel Africana, where the accused met with Mariam Wangadia asking for 20% to increase the commission's budget.
A3 then directly asked Ms. Wangadia how much she was going to give them. That A3 further asked Ms. Wangadia about UHRC's budget and activities, which prompted the latter to call her secretary and requested her to send the Commission's budget for the financial year 2024-2025 on her WhatsApp number, which she did. 20. that on receiving the budget, Ms. Wangadia shared it with A1 through his WhatsApp. The accused person studied the Commission's budget item by item as they debated which amount they would push for approval. 21, that after going through the Commission's budget, the accused persons asked to be paid 20% of the Commission's anticipated enhanced budget as a consideration for their role in influencing both the Budget Committee members and officials at the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. They explained that the percentage they were demanding for was for purposes influencing the members of the Budget Committee so that they do not question the proposed budget enhancement, and to also facilitate officials at the Ministry of Finance to release the allocated funds to the Commission. 22. That during the meeting, A3 inquired from Ms. Wangadia whether she had carried the money in cash for them to commence the process. However, Ms. Wangadia responded that did not have the money with her, whereupon A3 cautioned her to always move with money in cash during the budget period. 23. That all the above discussions were captured on the recording device which Ms. Wangadia had placed on the table, and after the meeting she returned it to the security personnel who had given it to her. It was the basis upon which investigations in this case were commenced. 24. That during investigations, police secured a closed circuit television, that is CCTV, footage from Hotel Africana for the 13th May 2024 and submitted it for analysis. 25. That the CCTV analytical report confirmed that on the 13th May 2024, A1 Honorable Yusuf Mutembuli arrived at Hotel Africana at 13:44 hours using motor vehicle registration number UAQ 444A and entered Elgon Restaurant and sat in a corner. 26. That the CCTV analytical report further confirmed that A2 arrived at Hotel Africana at 14:25:58 seconds and followed the direction that A1 took to the restaurant and joined him at the same table. 27. That the CCTV analytical report also shows that Ms. Wangadia arrived at Hotel Africana on the 13th May 2024 at 15:55:36 seconds in her official vehicles and joined A1 and A2 at the same table in Elgon Restaurant. That the CCTV analytical report also shows that A3 arrived at Hotel Africana on 13th May 2024 at 16:31 hours using motor vehicle registration number HON NCD and joined A1, A2 and Ms. Wangadia in Elgon Restaurant. 29. That police further secured call data records, know your customer details, and card history for the accused person's phones. That analysis of the accused person's call data printout and Ms. Wangadia showed that on the 13th May 2024 between 14 hours and 18 hours, they were all within the same location at Hotel Africana. The call data printout will be relied upon as one of the communication exhibits at the trial. 31. That forensic analysis of A2's phone showed that communication data from its WhatsApp application had been interfered with by its user through the installation of the said application on 8th June 2024 at 19:15:10 seconds. This was after A2 was summoned to police for an interview on his role in this case. 32. That forensic analysis of the mobile handset, which A1 went with to police on 10th June 2024, was a new mobile device that was activated and configured on 9 June 2024 at 21:03 hours. This was after he was summoned to police for an interview on 8th June 2024 for his role in this case. 33. But forensic analysis of the mobile handset, which A3 went with to police on the 10th Africana on 13th May 2024, 3. Police request for forensic examination of mobile phones and call data records. 4. Police Form 17A for imaging and analysis of information in the accused person's phones and Ms. Wangadia's phone. 5. The digital forensic examination reports. 6. Audio recording of the discussion between Ms. Wangadia and the accused person. 7. The transcription and translation report. 8. Applications and court orders to inspect and extract information from the accused person's phones. 9. Applications and court orders permitting police to inspect and retrieve call data, printout, and mobile money records for the accused person, the KYC information for their respective mobile telephone numbers and card history. 10. Call data printouts in respect of the accused person's mobile telephone numbers. 11. Call data printout for Ms. Wangadia. 12. Ms. Wangadia's consent to image her phone. 13. Digital forensic report in respect of Ms. Wangadia's phone. 6. Police Form 28 in respect of the motor vehicles used by the accused persons to go to Hotel Africana on the 13th of May 2024. 15. Exhibit slips for accused persons' phones. Wherefore, prosecution shall contend that the accused persons have no valid defense to the indictment and pray that they are convicted. P of the summary of the case has been read to the two of you. This court is hereby informing the two of you that you are hereby committed for your trial by the High Court. Any date that this court will give thereafter does not concern you. You are remanded awaiting production warrant from the High Court. In any case, by then, you have not yet secured bail from the High Court. But in any case, you have secured bail from the High Court, then definitely you will receive hearing notices through your counsels if they will still be the ones. Okay? In any case, no, instructions change now and then. Yeah. In any case, you have changed instructions, you let court know. All right? For services of those notices.
Most obliged.
After reading the indictment to the accused, Magistrate Joanne Asilo committed them to High Court for a full trial. Court also issued criminal summons against Sebuseka Member of Parliament Paul Akamba Before committal prosecution first amended the charge sheet, members of Parliament Yusufu Mutembuli for Bunyole East, Paula Kamba for Busiki County and Sisen Namuju, woman member of Parliament for Rengo District, are facing one count of corruption, which offence prosecution alleges that was committed on 13th May 2020 at Hotel Africana.